40, so I think we'll start the working session, and that way Sheena can get back to nursing. She's still sick? Yeah. Okay, take it away, Sheena.
This is day 6.
Oh, wow.
I apologize. So,
oh, pen.
I'm going to try sharing the screen.
Oh.
Well, we'll try and keep your presentation short there, Sheena. Just.
We'll have the TNT next after this.
Oh,
so, okay. Okay, are you able to see the attached Word document?
We can see it.
Perfect. Okay.
It's tiny. Yeah. Make
that a priority and just not see Sheena and us.
Yeah.
We don't need to see us.
Do you know, Jill?
You need to see me.
Oh, if you right click on and say don't watch on Sheena's or on ours, right there, don't watch. Oh, maybe it'll just make it, no.
It seemed like a good idea.
Never mind.
That's one drawback between Google and Zoom. So,
I think it might be on Sheena, if you know how to maximize your document. Because she's presenting, so it should be her control.
there you go.
Either that, but we do have paper copies.
We can go on without,
Yeah.
I mean, just
Okay.
don't spend too much time on it. If you can figure it out, then go to the screen.
Okay, so if you look at the monthly budget report, it shows our revenues as follows. State aid revenue, 26.8% received. Federal revenues, 11.27% received. Levy county apportionment, 21.5% received. Local revenues, 57.8% received. Food service, 21% received. Community ed, 8% received. Total all funds, we are at 25% received for the year at $2,346,472.80. And then just keep in mind that we are currently 40% through the year, so our revenues are behind. Normally, by the end of the year, they're 10% behind, so just keep in mind when we look at our expenditures that our revenues are behind. Our grants for the year, we have Title 401. We did budget to receive $90,000. Once we submitted our application and it was accepted, we are going to receive $120,726.50. So that's great news. We did code a teacher and a para to Title 401. So we should be able to spend all those funds, no problem. Our Q1 expenses will be submitted tomorrow, and then our Q2 expenses will be submitted in January. Q1 was $9,845.34. For our expenditures, our salaries and wages are 23% expended. Employee benefits, 28.2% expended. Purchase services, 46.3% expended. Supplies and materials, 33.5% expended. Capital equipment, 12% expended. Food service, 24% expended. Community ed, 24% expended. All funds, we are 29% expended at $2,545,990.44. So again, we are currently at 40% through the year, and our expenditures are at 29%. So our expenditures are looking good, still following over the course of the school year. Our salaries and wages run a little bit higher, and then by June they reduce significantly with the 9-month staff. But right now the budget's right on track. So if you look at the summary of all funds, we currently have a deficit of $118,517.64, and I would not worry about that at this point. In the month of November, our revenue was down just because we didn't receive much from the county for levying county apportionment, and we didn't receive very much from the state. So we should see, every month we'll see, usually November is a bigger county payment, and then December again we'll get a larger state payment. So it'll just even out throughout the year. Attached are student activity and transaction reports. I was requested to combine some student activity accounts. And I lost my paper on that because I was going to bring that up today. Mary Merchant, are you able to, here I found it. So we did discuss combining our elementary and high school PBIS accounts. Since Mary is now the principal of the elementary and the high school, it would make sense to combine these funds instead of keeping them separate, just used for the entire school. So we'll be making that change with our student activity accounts. And then we also set up that new athletic student activity account, which will be showing up. Also, we had over $1,000 in revenue in the month of November.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, she can hear us.
Oh, yeah, Sheena, if you're okay, I just wanted to explain the rationale behind PBIS. In addition, so the other thing is the funds we generate are from the vending machines, and in the past there's been some money put into elementary. Well, I really feel that it's everybody who contributes to that. I mean, you'll see elementary kids using it, adults, high school kids. So to me, the other reason to combine it is it's really getting one revenue, so now we can support elementary PBIS with the vending machines as we do high school. And our committee is a unified elementary high school committee now for PBIS, so it all just makes more sense to be one.
Can I ask a quick question? What does the acronym PBIS stand for?
Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports.
Thank you.
Okay, and our STAR report was submitted last week. That is a report that's required yearly, and the licensed staff is reported based on their licensure and what classes they're teaching and their schedule. So like, if they're full-time, part-time, that's reported, and then if I have any, basically the state wants to make sure that they're teaching classes within their licensure area. And then I also report all of our non-licensed staff. So that was submitted last week, and it was accepted without any errors. That went good. building in square footage is due today. I wasn't able to submit it because I'm having a password issue, so I have to touch base with Jeff on that, but it's a really quick submission. Next, we're going to be working on budget revisions for this year, and then jumping into next year really quick, hopefully doing another 3 to 5 year plan. And I was asked at the last meeting how much money we had right now, just because last year we did take out a line of credit with the Border Bank, and we had someone ask what the reasoning was, and it was primarily due to a large bond payment that we had to make. So, which we won't have this year, we're not refunding, but I just wanted to show, I include this in every meeting packet, so I just wanted to just bring it up. Basically, I just add up, I use this template to add up our balances from each account. Let me see if this works. And I just add up our balances, so this is our total cash on hand right now from all sources. Okay, so when I'm doing my bank rec, I put this together just because it helps me make sure that I have my totals correct. And I just think it provides just a one-sheet summary of all our accounts. So as of November 30th, we had $2,003,678.72 in all of our accounts combined.
What was it a year ago? You know?
Oh, I can pull that up really quick. A year ago is $1,617,707.42. So it's over $400,000 more that we have at the moment. We had made that large bond payment in January of 2024. Any questions?
I'm gonna ask Robin a question. Now, doing your finance there, North Star too, you're asking what you have on hand for cash and how it compares to last year. When you get that answer that we're $400,000 more flush than we were, does that make you feel comfortable? Or, I mean, I look at last December and say that was right around the time we really started becoming aware of what a precipitous slope we were on. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to lose that money very quickly. Is $400,000 a adequate buffer? I mean, are we still sort of teetering, or is that something that you're going to see really disappear come February, March? And you can answer that too, Sheena, but I'm just curious what Robin's curiosity about that was.
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering what we've gained in ground. You know, we were worried about having enough cash on hand.
Right,
you know,
so we went and got our line of
earlier.
credit in March, I think, didn't we, wasn't it about the time?
So it makes me feel better that we have, you know, more on hand, so.
And with more
And then-
contributions, Sheena, from the county and from the state, which should gain a little momentum here, should we see that increase a month from now?
Yeah, we should have a larger state payment coming in December even. And I did get our bill from Ehlers just, I want to say, at the end of last week. So we owe them close to $900,000 next month. Again, but I feel comfortable with that. And we've made significant cuts this past year, this summer. So we're budgeted to be profitable, and I don't see that changing.
Was that bond payment the same amount last year, or was it higher?
I believe it was a little higher last year. We have discussed different things that we can do to help with that. But I think we even need to be an SOD in order for some of those things to happen. I did work with Matt Hammer. What was it? Jeff, what was that called? Like, we sat down and I went through our revenues and expenditures for the year just to make sure we're on track and that we can handle the upcoming payments coming up. And just seeing if we needed any more financial assistance. And from the way it looked when Matt and I put the information together, we should be just fine.
I don't remember what that spreadsheet was called, what he called it. I do remember when you guys were working on that.
But a year ago, Mr. Hammer wouldn't have been involved in sort of vetting out our finances, right? I mean, so he's got his fingers in that more.
He was involved when we decided we needed to look at a line.
Yeah, we reached out to him in
So
January, I think.
So he was involved with that, advising us as far as setting that up with our cash flow.
Question on finances, but this topic a little bit, just more related to outstanding payments on the board packet. I don't know if are we stuck to that 6 o'clock?
No.
Maybe.
Oh, the truth and taxation may be. Oh, no, there's nobody here. Anybody here for truth and taxation? Continue.
Okay. It's in the board packet, but there's just outstanding, there's checks that have been written that haven't been cashed, and a handful, very few, like a lot less actually than a while back, from 2023.
Yeah, I have it. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, gosh, when was it? Like last spring, I cleaned out and voided all our outstanding payments that we could.
Yep.
So we have Horizon Pool Supply, January 2023, $740.38.
Yep.
And
One more.
we have, a few, it must have been some refs or event workers, I'm assuming, probably more so event workers. They're fairly small amounts, but
Do you reissue those checks?
yeah, we can.
What page is that on?
It'd be like on page 136 of the board packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was curious of how you deal with those, if you follow up on them, or, because that would be, if you're doing accrual base, so it's already posted as an expense and recognized as an expense, correct?
Right, yep. So if we void it, then basically we're bringing back the money, in a sense, to our books.
Okay.
So the Horizon pool supply, I mean, I'm guessing that's already been taken care of.
As in, what do you mean by that?
Meaning, they haven't been sending us more invoices. I'm just guessing. So I'm guessing like another check could have been cut and mailed.
Okay.
If it is event workers, which is possible, at the end of every season, we do a big swath of checks. Some go on payroll, some go on checks to folks who've worked tickets or whatever. We would reissue those if they approach us, I think. And then, like Sheena said, every couple of years, she goes through and kind of cleans up a year ago sort of thing. So we don't do a ton of tracking down, but I leave it to Sheena in terms of whenever she wants to get those offer books.
Sure, okay.
Normally the detail, like the check register, is in the board packet, and I don't think it was in this time.
The detail, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you can
Nice.
see,
I have the regular check register.
you can see them on the, like, bank statement, obviously, but that's just the images. And there's a lot in here. I mean, obviously, with the, I just keep scrolling in case, like, it will go too fast, but I missed something.
You're not talking about the payment register by bank and check? Only page 139?
No, well, normally there's a, let me see, page 139.
Normally there's a detailed one, so it takes each of these checks and it gives a line-by-line itemization of what the,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, not what's not on page 139. Yeah, the more, it's lengthier. I just noticed it wasn't in there, earlier today. So I don't know if you just wanna like send that separate, maybe.
I'll run it and send it.
And yeah, so I don't know if this one, this payment register by bank and check is just what's in there instead.
Usually I do both, so I must have just missed it.
If this one's just a lot more condensed with less description, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one gets really long with all the levy sheets included. I'm scrolling and looking at it, scroll.
Any other questions? We can move on here, I think, unless there's questions, or did everything get answered that was asked?
Okay, I guess that's it. Thanks, Sheena.
Then she
So
can
we need
move
to
right
move on.
into the,
Oh, now we get, yeah. What do we have to do for?
Sheena will do a presentation.
Okay,
She can,
so I hope
otherwise, go on.
you can see this okay.
You have a, on your table, there's a packet of slides.
This is weird. Trying to figure out how to share my page.
Oh, because I shut that out. Yeah, touch the screen.
So it's Mary's right now. That's Mary's mouth.
So does she hold?
She's holding it. She's holding it.
Okay. Are you able to see
Yep,
the slides?
we can see it.
Yep. You'll want to hit slideshow, I think.
Perfect. Okay. Where is that?
Slideshow, keep going to the,
Oh, see. Okay. 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 Okay, this is the 2024-25 budget and proposed 2025 property tax presentation. Today's agenda is factors affecting taxes. It looks at the big picture, your property tax classification and value, the school district factors affecting pay 2025, and putting it all together. Why do we have a truth in taxation meeting? A truth in taxation law passed in 1989. There are two major requirements. Tax statements are sent. Counties must send out proposed property tax statements in November based on proposed tax levies set by all taxing jurisdictions, which include counties, cities, townships, school districts, etc. We are required to have a public meeting. Most taxing jurisdictions hold a public hearing prior to certifying the final levy. we are going to discuss the payable 2025 levy, the fiscal 2025 budget, and take public comments. Who sets the school levy? Components of a district tax levy are either state formula set by the legislature. These comes in several, it's divided out through several areas, which include a general education formula, operating capital, career and tech, and the employment, etc. We also have voter approved as authorized by the state, which comes in form of an operating referendum or building bonds. How is my property tax determined? The county assessor determines market value for each parcel of property. The Minnesota legislature sets the formulas for tax capacity. These formulas determine how the tax burden is split on different types of property. These types of property are residential, commercial, ag, etc. The county auditor calculates the tax capacity for each parcel. The county auditor divides the total levy by the total tax capacity of the district to determine the tax rate needed. The tax rate is multiplied by each property's tax capacity. Certain levies are spread based on the market value rather than the tax capacity. This graph just shows the sources of general funds across the state. Most funding, about 70%, comes from the state, 9% from the federal government, 16% from property taxes, and 5% from local sources. The next graph just shows basically the difference in the formula allowance that we receive per pupil weight, or per pupil unit, sorry, and then the adjusted pupil weight change. So if you look at 2025, the difference between what it actually is costing and what we're actually getting per student. So right now the funding trail difference is $1,364 per student. This graph shows property tax levies for schools and non-schools, just the difference. School districts are in blue, non-school local governments are the dotted red line. State government is the dotted green. This is our 2024-2025 school year budget. For our general fund, our revenues will exceed expenditures by $148,076. For food service, our revenue will exceed expenses by $8,402. For community ed, our revenues will exceed expenditures, our expenses will exceed our revenues by $32,064. Fund 7, debt service, our revenues will exceed expenditures by $212,186. We are projected to have revenues exceed expenditures by $336,600. Our levy 2024, page 2025, will result in a decrease of revenue of $13,171.28. I did pull up last year's amount, and we had a decrease last year from the prior year of over $100,000. So the reduction this year is definitely not as much as the prior year. Our levy for 2025 will decrease due to our pool levy that we had last year. You can see those amounts on the slides. And based on our revenue projection model, our county apportionment for I made a typo. Our county apportionment for 2025 is matching what we received in 2024, which is $506,332.05. That's just what the projection showed when we entered in our projected enrollment for this fiscal year. So I did make some notes as it pertains to our budget. We made several more reductions for the 2024-2025 school year that we didn't have in the prior year. We did eliminate some paraprofessional support positions, teaching staff and a social worker. We did reduce our budget for instructional supplies and capital purchases significantly. So this is an example of a property tax statement that you would receive in the mail. If you look, it shows your property classification and market value. So it says the estimated market value, if there's a homestead exclusion, the taxable market value, and what your property classification is. And then your proposed tax should be right below that. These are the tax rates. It shows the 2024 estimate for farm, 0.48%, seasonal rec, 0.79%, residential homestead, 1.14%, apartments, 1.43%, public utility, 2.5%, commercial industrial, 2.59%. This slide shows the share of tax liability. For the market value share, farms have a share of 18.9%, seasonal rec residential 4.2%, commercial industrial 12.7%, residential homestead 57.7%, and other residential 6.5%. Share net taxes, which is payable in 2024, for farms is 6.8%, seasonal rec residential 2.6%, commercial and industrial 28.8%, residential homes 54.2%, and other residential 7.7%. The aid to school tax credit was enacted in 2017. It affects all existing Fund 7 debt levies except OPEB. It provides reductions for farmers and timber owners. It will remain at 70% in 2025. This revenue comes from state income, sales, and other tax revenue. So if you look at the graph, it shows that we have remained at 70% for a tax credit on bonds since 2023. So if you look at your property tax statement, your aid to school credit is calculated on each parcel. Because it's paid by the state, it does not show up on our levy certification report. This graph just shows how different school districts and counties compare in total to the whole state for the aid to school credit. So if you look at Lake of the Woods, we are below the median of $186,185. These are the equalization factors for LOR and operating referendums. We've been spiked here. Oops. Maybe it's the next one. So the possible reasons for changes to your parcel could be change in value or classification of your property, change in enrollment numbers of the district, change in valuation of property in the district, local decisions and requirements, adjustment for prior years, and any legislative changes. How does our district compare in operating referendum revenue? So if you look at Lake of the Woods, our district is at $513 per pupil. The median amount is $513. The upper value is $1,025.
So, Sheena, that might be a typo.
Yes.
Our district's is 24 per APU for operating revenue. Because we're below we're not at the median.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It is.
What did you say it is, 24?
Ours is 24. So our total is 748. Local operating LOR is 724, and then our actual operating referendum is 24, for a total of 748.
How does our district compare in referendum market value per residential per people unit? Sorry. Okay, so for long-term facility maintenance included in property taxes for 2025, the school board and MDA approved a 10-year facility maintenance plan. This includes a project of a window replacement and a project of a door replacement. The lighting in the auditorium was replaced in FY 2024. Our LTFM revenue is $147,934.67. The state aid share is $0. The local share is $147,934.67. This is our proposed pay 2025 levy for Lake of the Woods. The general fund is $884,625.56. Community education, $48,327.95. General debt service, $1,104,708. The total is $2,037,661.51. This is a decrease from last year of $13,171.28. Okay, and that concludes our truth and taxation presentation. Questions?
Nobody's got any here.
Yes. Well, thanks so much. You've been a trooper tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Get some rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Bye.
Go on to the citizens forum. Anyone? Anyone? Reports. Board committees. Did any meet?
Not forestry,
Yeah.
day off from school.
Tomorrow.
Okay, no board committees, and we'll segue right into Jeff as soon as he's ready.
So enrollment update, we're at, oh, thanks, Troy. We're at 422 total enrollment for K-12. Elementary is at 196, and 6th through 4th grade is at 226. And I think last month I reported that we were at 420. Staffing update, I did send out in the board packet. We did have a custodian who suffered a broken hip. And Senator he'll be back. So we're recommending tonight that we hire Jonathan to go from half-time to full-time. Nelson's are gonna take care of the snow removal, the salting, and the morning checks. JD or Jonathan will be doing part-time custodial, 4 to 6 hours. And then 2 to 4 hours helping Dale on the bus. So this schedule to be kind of flexible based on what our needs are. Any questions on any of that? On Tuesday, December 9th, we had a referendum review meeting. That was myself, several representatives from Trask Anderson, Virginia Trask, and Robin were there. And basically, it was just a preliminary check on basically informal discussion about the vote on our referendum, how we got there, what if any feedback from the community we've had since the vote, and kind of some discussions on what might be the board's appetite for going back to the voters. So I'm recommending that we schedule a board workshop with Ross Anderson in early February to continue this conversation to the board and begin the process of addressing our financial and facility needs. If we were going to go out for another bond referendum in this next year, for example, if we did an August 12th election, March 25th would be the review and comment deadline. If we waited till November 4th, June 17th. So it's kind of some deadlines. By November 4th election, we will have to do a special election. Jim's seat. Organizational meeting, the date I'm proposing is Tuesday, January 21st at 5:30 p.m. in the ITV room. I think I've connected with everyone. If something comes up and we have to reschedule, then we might just have to go with our January board meeting because that's the next week. So but we'll post that and go with that. Also in your packet that it did not get included in the email, we have a Dakota fire contract approval. It's $1,500 annual, $250 less than our other quote is like. Recommended that we approve that contract. And the last thing I have is this is the last board meeting for a couple of our board members. Tim Lyon's been here since 2009, so 15 years. Wow. And Corinne Trask has been here since 2017, so 7 years. So thanks both of you for your time, commitment, and dedication to the school and kids in the community. I don't know how to thank you.
Thank you.
Coffee, cookies, things like that.
We'll set up a date sometime. So
I'll just come in and you and I can have coffee.
Thanks, man.
I'll bring it.
We can talk about you getting your bus license endorsement.
Nice. There you go. Yeah.
Not letting go of you that easy.
Any questions?
How are the roads
They're sketchy. This,
tonight?
not fun.
Well, we just got back from driving the bus not too long ago, so.
And I had a
More
little bit
of
of
the
a,
secondary and gravel roads that I'm curious about.
Long Point, they're not the greatest.
Yeah.
So, but we made it through. I would have been on time, but I had a minor mechanical issue that Dale's gonna fix in the morning, so.
Yeah, I didn't think that one completely through.
No, so, nothing major.
I have a question about the committees and the bylaws.
Yep,
Assuming you're kind of just,
I'm still working on that
Yeah.
handbook. Yep,
and it'll be a good time for the new board to maybe have input on that.
yes, my goal is over the holidays to get some of that put into that document. And develop that. Which is something we've never had in the district, so that's a new thing. Yeah, that has to be just started, so. Yep, so we'll have that before I'll get that out there before the organization. That's all I have.
Okay. And looks like Mary's up next.
Good evening. Our juniors took the ASVAB test last week, December 10th. And after Christmas break, the rep from the National Guard will come back and then he'll explain the results to the kids and what the different categories and areas mean. It really is a test to help students to recognize where their strengths are and give them some guidance when they look to possible career choices or college options for them. We had a all-school powwow here last week, also on December 10th. It was the Leech Lake Band students from Reamer that came, and really a great experience for all of our students. And the awards that they have received with the drumming that we do and the regalia that they were wearing was really a good not just experience of the powwow, but a lot of history was explained to the kids along with it. So we were very happy that they could come to us, especially with the snowy day we had the day before. Wonderful turnout for the White Elephant Sale. It's always amazing what is donated for our students to come and purchase. Yes, we didn't get that quite put away yet. And then even all of our local businesses and how they help out and donate, and the community with wrapping paper and tape and all those simple things. And then we have like our honor students and the studs kids who get freed up during different periods, and parents who come in to help wrap the presents for the kids. So it's wonderful to see all those elementary kids to be able to come and pick out presents and get them wrapped to take home. So we are grateful for all that work that Mrs. Kraus and everybody behind her does to make that a positive thing for our kids. Choir concert tonight, our 6th through 12th graders, so I'm sure they're doing a fantastic job in the auditorium. And on Thursday, we have our elementary Christmas program that are grades K through 2, and this year it's going to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you can come and enjoy participating and watching in that, that would be wonderful. And we are having dress-up days throughout the week with different Christmas themes. Today was Elf or Santa garb, and tomorrow's one of my favorites, ugly sweater, Christmas sweaters. And then on Friday, elementary will have parties, and the high school will end the week before Christmas break with bingo. And that is all I have. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
You're up next, and you've got to talk for 22 minutes.
Yeah, I am capable of that. So
Turning sandals.
yeah, right. A couple things. We are excited to announce that Brian Sather is taking our varsity softball position. Excited for his enthusiasm, as you know, in terms of jumping in. He is primarily a baseball mind, so will be a little bit of transition in terms of getting him in the softball game, but he'll do a great job. Career and college counseling last Thursday and this coming Thursday. We have 3 folks, Shelly Papera talking Dollars for Scholars, Gretchen Mamel talking FAFSA and or general financial planning, and Jeff Burcham talking general plans. They are sitting down with each senior individually. So I have created a schedule, folks have signed up, you get 3 students in the room, they get 15 minutes with each of those people, they rotate, so they're in there for 45 minutes total. Not a ton of time, but it's enough time for them to say, have you completed your Dollars for Scholars profile? Have you signed on to FAFSA? If you're not doing FAFSA, what are your general ideas and plans in terms of what's next financially? Getting them, Jeff is talking more generally, getting them connected with job shadowing, things like that. So it's good. I'm excited about it because it's not something that I probably have the time, nor does Mary have the time to sit down and do, but I think it's a good utilization of our volunteers in getting those kids front and center, students front and center with what's your next thing. So half of the class was last Thursday, the next half will be this Thursday, and then of course then we will follow up as the spring comes along with next steps on all of that. So trying to get some focused and directed interaction with those students. We tried an experiment last Thursday with a basketball doubleheader. Typically when we have a doubleheader with the same school, I fortuitously somewhat had ended up scheduling 2 schools on the same night for a home game, boys and girls, and we said, let's try a doubleheader to see if we can figure out if this is doable, because it saves us money, namely on mileage on refs. We can be a little bit more efficient with the reffing schedule, as well as then brings more people in the building. So I have not had a chance to run the numbers, but I'm hoping to evaluate based on tickets, based on cost savings, is this a viable option going forward in terms of how we are more efficient with time. Been in contact with the custodial staff. Kyle Avendroth and I have been in close contact about, did it work? Was it too much? I mean, that's a lot of pressure on them in terms of cleanup and people management, kind of bodies everywhere sort of thing. So appreciate people letting me try different things, but I think there are ways we can be more efficient with our game space on stuff like that. The only other thing I'd like to add tonight is tomorrow I'm taking 3 juniors to Marvin Windows for a experience. It's kind of a test student experience. So we're taking 3 juniors to say, this is what we'd like to run a potential 10th grade class through. What's your feedback on the information that you're getting? What information would you like? We're going to get a tour of the plant, which I have never had, so I'm quite excited. They'll get a tour of headquarters, which is a beautiful building. We'll eat lunch. And then Marvin will also get the chance to ask those students, what's information or education we can offer you as you step into the next phase of your life. So excited to partner with them on getting our students connected with opportunities there. We've talked about this before, mutually beneficial. They can give us quality career education. We can get them connected with potential employees for the future. So I will have a report on that, and it'll be a great experience, I have no doubt. But excited to, did I say tomorrow? Wednesday. We're going there. Wednesday we're going. It's an all-day thing, so we'll drive over and spend the day there. So yeah. Any questions?
Students, how did you pick the 3 students?
Yeah, I picked a mix of, well, I wanted students who were going to give feedback, so I picked some yappers. No, I'm joking. But some people who are good at talking, right? And talking is in like being opinionated. I wanted a mix of students who knew where they were going, students who don't know where they're going, students who are college bound. So, and then of course, students that Mary and I ran the list by Mary, but students that obviously are in good standing and good members of their class and active in not just sports, but things that they're in their community. So a little bit of who do we think would be good for this, because it's only 3 students. So can I mention names? Is that appropriate? Yeah. So it's Caitlin Scharfenkamp, Rylan Anderson, Andrew Higgins. So good mix, and juniors in particular, because they're thinking about the future, but not quite yet set on where they're going to go and what they're going to do. So
A little less pressure.
yeah, a little less pressure, and they've got some opportunity to give us good feedback about what information do they need. I think that's what's unique about this is Marvin is willing to cater what they offer our students in this kind of big experience in a 10th grade situation, but in 11th and 12th grade about what's going to be effective for our students and what they get from us. So yeah, I'm excited about it. They're hosting us, so it should be fun. Any other questions?
Do we do anything like that locally with any other?
Yeah, we've talked to A&I, and we've done tours with them before. Nothing formally on the books right now. I do have Justin Shiro in contact with Bobby Castle talking chemistry when that class does chemistry this spring at some point, and I think they'll have a more focused tour at that point, as well as maybe chemists from A&I in the classroom there. So yeah, there's opportunities, and I think it's happened in passing more so than it's happened as a structured opportunity. So I think this is hopefully going to give me a little bit of concept of like how a day like this goes. You know, if you say, oh, let's take the 10th grade, well, that's 35 kids. So now we're figuring out how to put them in a chemistry lab, which seems dangerous. You know, and so I think I'm excited for this because it's learning for me as well in terms of how this works and what makes it engaging and effective for students. Yeah.
So if it goes well,
Yeah, it's a good model, right?
Yeah.
Like
to expand.
yes, yep. And that goes for, I'll say that if there are, you know, North Stars on that list too, there are organizations in the community who want to make some inroads into the high school setting. And again, a 10th grade tour of your plant is maybe not, like we'll see how it goes. Kids might be super pumped to do it, or they might get the glass eyes, right? So I don't know, and I think there might be, but there is opportunity for different styles of engagement too.
Well, and they'll learn that there's not just, you know, working a line. You know, there's
Right.
other management or finance or architecture, all kinds of other
Yes.
opportunities at, that location or another business type.
And I would say, I think getting a tour of headquarters is almost as important as getting, all of it's gonna be cool, and also, for a lot of organizations, North Star has HR, right? There are facets to organizations that our students don't have a concept of, even locally. So I think this is an inroad into that, where Marvin is willing to do the career education about HR, customer service, graphic design, as well as engineering and manufacturing.
Yeah.
So hopefully I think it's a little bit of a long-term partnership in that way, but I'm hoping will, like you said, create a template for other organizations. We also, while we're talking about it, have been scheming this summer, which will give me a full school year under my belt as this college and career. Would like to get a crew together to say, okay, starting in 9th grade, what's the roadmap for career and college decision making? So in 9th grade, you're going to get X, Y, Z. In 10th grade, you get careers class and ABC. In 11th grade, you get this. In 12th grade, you get this. Because we do a lot. And you've heard Mary talk about this over the years. You hear me talk about this stuff. But when a student gets to 9th grade orientation, and that's the place I think it becomes kind of a rubber hits the road. Here's a one sheet. To parents, this is what you can expect. You're going to forget this by the time your kid's a junior, but at least you have a concept of, one, who you can talk to, and what's the kind of roadmap that your student will experience between here and their senior year. These meetings will be on that, right? So that's my hope. So it's a little bit more clear, because there is a lot happening. It's just a matter of kind of channeling it into a place that you can find that stuff. Is that 22 minutes?
Nope, you gotta keep going.
Pretty close, though.
You got 10 more minutes.
No, I'm not
Whatever you
doing
want to
that.
talk about.
I'm done, though, right? Anything else? Good?
We do have a school forest committee meeting tomorrow night at 5:30. So, you still have one more meeting to go to.
Yeah, I might be just a tad late, because I think I got a flood at 5:30, so.
Yep. But we'll be talking about, and I don't have it with me, so I don't want to go too far down into the weeds with it. But we've been looking at the school-owned properties, and I think there's a couple properties we're gonna discuss tomorrow night as far as doing an application to classify them as a school forest. One of the pieces is the 40 acres on the south side of the school here that we used to rent out for hay ground. It doesn't look like much of a school forest, but if you plant trees, someday it will be. So that's kind of the direction we're going with that, maybe, possibly. And I don't know how to describe the other 40-acre.
Basically another mile south.
Mile south, I think, yeah. It's adjacent to some county or state land. So that has potential of being another designated school forest.
And the purpose being tax,
Yeah,
lack of tax.
yeah. And then there's that other, is it 120, the swampland out north?
Just across from Weibel Farm.
I think it's 160. Taxes are, I don't have the exact, taxes are about $200, and then there's another $200 and some ditch assessment on there. I don't think it would be much of a school forest. That access to it's not the greatest. So that might be something to propose to after January, to maybe look at selling that property. Because right now it's just costing us $400 a year on taxes and ditch assessment, and so then we'll discuss our candlelight ski and look for volunteers for grooming the trail with machines that are operating at the time. And
Yeah, do you have tracks on yet?
no,
Nor do I, but I'm gonna put them on this week, I guess.
my machine's on the trailer heading to the mechanic, cause it's gonna need more than tracks put on it right now. But it'll get fixed sooner.
Yeah, they got a potential third party who was offered that, actually, we have to go to them, they came to us and said, I got a machine and they do some good use.
Perfect. Good. That would be helpful.
Have them ready for the break.
Yep.
What we try to do.
Yep.
There's no-
Then the only other thing I can make up as we're waiting for time is written communications during the regular board meeting is the, and it went out in the board packet, is the joint powers election. So if you feel that you want to fill out a ballot, they're right here.
Nominate Tim.
That's ironic, I filled one out before you last time.
Could have got his name on the list, but it's too late. So the ballot's on the second page if you want to fill that out, and just leave it here, and then I'll put it in the envelope and mail it. And
I think that's only if anybody wants to do it, right, or do we have?
it's not a requirement. It's
Anybody interested?
What's the advantage of having that?
it's a legal formality that they have to go through. So last month we talked about it, and we didn't nominate anyone. There's a list of 4 or 5 people on the ballot. So now everyone that is part of the Region 1 co-op votes. Or I think there's 3 open seats, so it's just going through the process. You probably won't know anyone on the list, I don't know, but,
Yeah.
so,
Kind of like voting for judges.
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
But is there an advantage to getting one of our names on that list? I mean, you get some kind of benefit, or your school get a little more voice, or?
Well, you have a voice on the board of directors, so it can make a difference, I guess. It's,
I mean, is that just a conduit to the state legislature kind of thing?
some of it, they do some lobbying, because that's where we get some of our E-rate, is run through Region 1. But a lot of it is the services that we get. Our synergy comes through Region 1. So, and how they, provide services to the school, so.
Are you actively advertising for another custodian? I mean, what you have is enough right now?
We're working on that. We're adjusting some of the schedules, so we're gonna try running for get through this week and get through the new year and see, because we're combining 1.5 positions into 1. So I'm hoping it'll be cost neutral. But we're not gonna get the savings I'd hoped for with just having someone in-house do the morning salting and snow removal, and so if we can absorb it and not have to hire another half-time position, we'll go that route to save some dollars.
You have like billing people, like,
We've been training in one person as a sub. We have someone that is willing to come in just on Fridays and Saturdays as a sub, fill in that. So,
And obviously, you're looking for bus people still. I mean, that's just not.
I think that's just gonna be an ongoing thing, whether it's a sub. I don't think we have any open routes right now, but
There's probably not many subs to fill in.
we have a few dedicated but especially in the spring, we'll see it gets pretty tough to get all the vehicles where they need to go, and
Who creates the routes?
John Botko.
Does he have software to do that?
I don't know. I don't think he
No,
does
we
any software.
Tried
Yeah,
the software, and we are too small to make it economically work.
it's more of a, there's a map, and we go from there. Right now, we've pretty much got them all stuff like our weekend. 6 buses, I think that's what I saw. Yeah, we took a route off for this year. So we're down to six full-time routes with the exception of the minibus for the sped.
And what's the earliest pickup time?
That'd be probably
That
on
would be
mine.
you at probably 6:18 in the morning.
6:18 in the morning, out by.
That's a
Winterset.
45-minute trip to get there
Mm-hmm,
from the school.
on a good day, but, no.
You're going west on that one? Or north?
It's
No, that's
north and then east. It's out by Winterset, out in that area. I think the farthest one out, there's one out by Rocky, out by Arneson.
Yeah.
But that's not a morning route, so it's an afternoon route.
Then we're over by Swift and over by Birchdale and down to Hay Creek and Carp.
Yeah. We're still covering the same mileage with Euro buses, but
There is companies out there that do routing, but they will come in, they say, well, we can save you $100,000 next year on your transportation costs, but they're gonna bill you for 50. But is what they do is they basically take a bus and just fill it full of kids. They don't care if they're on the bus for 4 or 8 hours. They just take a bus and fill it.
I would think that just the distances just about makes its own route.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a few details, because you're going up to Rocky Point, Winterset, and then Birchdale and Swift and Hay Creek, there's what, 5 buses right off of that, and then work your way back in.
The 6th one would be the Lake Road.
Yeah.
Do all the buses go pick people up in town too?
No.
I don't.
Richard doesn't, you don't, and everybody else does.
I do go through Williams, so.
So what's the theory behind that one? Behind 3 buses going through town?
It was to fill them up to cut the one bus. Because the one bus we cut is the one that picked up probably 40 kids in town. So we brought another bus into town to pick up that slack. Help pick up that, part of that slack. No, we had one failure in that, and, you know, it would work. There was 110 kids assigned to that bus, and if everybody rode, we would have been more than legally screwed. So we made another adjustment and brought another bus in to help pick up that 40 kids that we, from the route that we pulled.
So it's not ideal, but we're making it work.
John's come to the meetings before, but he's been a little bit.
I told him not to come tonight because I thought we'd be running late with the budget meeting and truth and taxation. I should have had him come, but he'll have his report in January.
Yeah. We only have 3 buses that run through town. Lake Route doesn't, Williams doesn't, Roosevelt doesn't. We got 3 other buses that cover the city of that.
Well, it is 7, so
Yeah, we did it.
Everyone's ready.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Find the cheat sheet. I have a cheat sheet. There's the cheat sheet. All right, I need a motion and a
second to approve the December 16th, 2024 meeting agenda.
We'll make a motion.
Second by Lyon.
Sonstagard, second by Lyon. Any discussion? Any changes? Otherwise, we're good to go.
No changes.
Okay.
We're good.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The board presenters, we had mentioned written communications. Old business, new business. Need a motion and a second to approve the November 25th, 2024 regular school board meeting minutes.
Motion by Lyon.
Motion by Lyon,
Second, Trask.
second by Trask. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I need a motion and a second to approve the invoices, financial statements, bank reconciliations, wire transfers, and purchase card statement.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sonstagard,
Second by Lyon.
second by Lyon. Any discussion with that? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of minutes, appointments. I need a motion and a second to approve the appointments as presented. Appointments. Jonathan Messenbrink, full-time custodian and assistant bus mechanic. Brian Sather, varsity softball coach.
Motion by Hack.
Motion by Hack,
Second by Lyon.
second by Lyon. Any discussion there? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Need a motion and a second to approve the policies as presented. They are 503, student attendance, 506, student discipline, 522, Title IX, sex non-discrimination policy, grievance procedure and process, 601, school district curriculum and instruction, 606.5, library materials, 613, graduation requirements, 616, school district system accountability, 620, credit for learning, 806, crisis management.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Trask,
Second by Lyon.
second by Lyon. Any discussion with any of those?
So every time we have this, there's policies that are presented. Where are those policies at?
They were in the board, in the packet.
In the packet?
Yep.
They were at the end of this one. But all the policies are on the website.
They're all on the website. These are
So
just,
I'm sorry, keep going.
so these policies, during the last legislative session, there's changes. And normally, if it's just very minimal changes, there's no changes to the meaning. Or if it's something that's required by law, we do one reading and approval. If there's other things where there's lots of changes, there's 3 readings. So some could come back in the future where they come back to 3 board meetings so that the public has a chance to read through them and ask questions before it's finally approved. So these all fit mostly it's legislative changes.
Yeah, so it's like this 506 student discipline, original in 1995. And sometimes it'll say like all the readings or whatever.
Yeah.
So the original was in 95 and then they have the rev. And then if they do another rev, it'll be 2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, and then it'd be like here, sorry, text in red is your,
Oh, gotcha.
what was added, or if there were strike-throughs, then it would be. And usually in the board packet, it's showing
In the board packet, when you open them up, you'll see red. You'll see the changes. Sometimes you'll even see
Cross off.
the person that's putting in the changes. Like 506 just adds unscheduled student removal provision, and that was a statute. So that's kind of how that works.
And then the policy committee in the past has, sometimes we've reviewed them, and if there's more things like Mary needs to deal with, then she'll just kind of take it in.
Yeah.
But
It's a lot to look at, though.
Yes,
Do you
it
still
is.
keep a 3-ring binder of tangibly in the office, or is it all online now?
I have some old ones, just for nostalgia, in my,
Well, it wasn't too long ago, I could remember you still clipping them in there.
yeah,
You
it's
know?
like
Yeah,
that thick.
We can present a binder to him on the way out the door.
There, a parting
It's
gift.
a wheelbarrow, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause there's like those 300 series and 400 series.
Yeah. In the last two sessions, especially the last one, it's a lot of legislative changes, way more than normal. Policy committee used to meet monthly,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to get it to quarterly, just to be respectful of people's time, and
Sometimes it is like just really.
it's really, yeah.
Yeah, some of them are interesting to go through.
Kinda.
And then we pretty much follow whatever MSBA recommendations are. So unless there's something, do you remember how many times we deviated from whatever they recommended, like maybe once in the last 15 years?
Yeah, not really, it's more just procedurally.
Yep.
There's the procedure that's different, or a form that's different that the school has. Yeah.
So are there 3 people on the policy committee? Or are there
Well,
just the 2 of
Two
you?
board members.
Two board
Just 2 of you.
members.
Okay.
We have some admin,
Yeah.
and we have a para,
A teacher.
and a teacher.
It's more
I just
interesting-
wasn't
Yep.
sure if there was 3 board members or just 2. Just 2.
Just
It was
two.
more interesting when we were going through the handbooks and stuff. That took a little bit of going around and round and round and round.
Or even just the origination of, like, really trying to get up to speed on the policies and have them updated on the
I feel pretty good where we're at right now as far as how we're getting them updated.
way better than when I started.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here.
Only took 7 years.
Any more discussion? Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Guys, I forgot we were in a motion in a second. I guess we're going to set the organizational meeting to a date of
January 21st.
Monday, January 21st.
5:30?
time of 5:30. ITV room?
Yep.
Okay, that's a statement. Need a motion and a second to approve resolution 2024/25-22 to set the property tax levy at,
That's
do we
in
ever
your
put a number, or
hand.
don't we
Yeah.
Put max,
No, now we have to put the actual number.
okay,
Was it the 2 million
It'd be
50?
$2,037,661.51 is the total. Repeat that, please. $2,037,661.51 is the total.
Is it 37,000 or 307,000?
37,000.
It's 37, I think, on that slideshow.
I saw the slideshow had the other number.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
So we're
this is
approving
correct.
37,000.
Yep.
20376.
if I ask for a motion, I must not have got the dollar amount. Any motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second to, yeah, we got the dollar amount for April 2025. Motion by Sonstgaard,
Second by Lyon.
second by Lyon. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Need a motion and a second to approve the contract with Dakota Fire Protection for the 2025 sprinkler inspection. Motion by Hack,
I'll second.
second by Trask. Any discussion?
What is this? Is this an insurance thing?
Or it's a requirement?
Like an annual,
Yeah.
Sprinkler inspection. Wasn't in our board packet.
Pretty sure, oh, Dale's gone. Pretty sure it's a requirement.
Yeah.
Field,
Yes.
fire marshal comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do not do the backwash test or whatever. I can't remember what the term used. It's just, we just do the
Backflow.
annual.
Yeah.
Backflow, thank you. That was close. Backwash, backflow.
Let's go back somehow.
You don't want the water out of there.
No.
And you had Viking, yep. You had two quotes, right?
Yep, Viking came in. Viking is the one that, actually the company that installed the system. But their annual fee was $250 more, so we went with the cheaper of the two.
Do they look at all the
Exact same thing.
fire extinguishers too, or no?
I think that's a
That would
Come
be-
by once a year.
different company.
Yeah, and that would be separate.
I think it's different. This is all the sprinkler systems and stuff, so. I can't remember the name of the company that does the
They come through in July and do the fire.
fire extinguishers.
Yeah, I think the county
Yeah,
uses
weren't
the
you-
same
Woody was for that.
company.
I do the monthly.
Okay.
I just make sure they're on the wall, make sure they're up to pressure, clean, turn them over now and then.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we will call Tim Lyon's last board meeting closed at 7:13 p.m.
What about me?
Oh,
I
Trent
can leave
Stu,
too.
yeah.
Sorry, goodness.
I know.
He's down there offering coffee and cookies.
Sorry, Corinne.
I'm not going too far.
Well, Tim and Corinne, I want to thank you for being board members. I have very much appreciated working with both of you and feeling like I've always had your support. So thank you for all your years of service. It's greatly appreciated. I know how much work it is.
We'll still have our noses in here.
It's just not an official
Capacity.
If you want goodies.